So this is a picture of Lake Junaluska. It's over in Waynesville, North Carolina. And I used to live in that area before I moved to East Tennessee, so I'm very familiar with it and love to go out there. It was always one of my favorite places. And so these are some of my photos that I've taken from there. And as you can see, it's a very large lake, but it's got these beautiful resting places and mountain views. It's just a really special place. Lake Junaluska is known in that area for this big cross. The locals there refer to the cross, the Lake Junaluska cross, which is just a giant cross that lights up, and you can see it when you're driving down the road. That's a picture of little Ethan standing next to it, so that's how the size of it. One of my favorite things to do there is to take photos of water reflections. So here you can see this swan, and then if you look at the water beneath it, you see the white and the orange of its beak and the reflection of it so clearly, and even the greenery from the trees around it. This is a bridge that's there, and you can see it reflecting on the water. And so I just love to appreciate little things like that. So this summer, Robin, probably sometime in May, we were having a conversation, and she mentioned to me that the church was having Carolina Camp at Lake Junaluska. And it's going to be a week long. Bring the kids. It's going to be so much fun. And at that time, I thought, we are really busy. I do not have time to, take a week, but it sounds really nice. Thanks anyway. And sometime later, I received a phone call from my mom, probably a few weeks later, and she let me know that she was going to be coming back to this area from Michigan. She had been there for 6 weeks taking care of her sister who has leukemia. And she said to me, I am so exhausted. I just need a vacation. I'm going to rent a house at Lake Junaluska for a week and just go stay there and just rest. You're welcome to come. Bring your boys. And I said, well, that sounds really lovely, but I just don't have the time right now. We're so busy, to take a week off. And I hang up the phone with her. She, of course, had no idea they were going to be having a camp there that same week. I hang up the phone with her, and I get a text message from Robin, and it says, did you think any more about coming to Lake Junaluska next week for Carolina Camp? And at this point, that's, multiple witnesses that God had prepared a place for me even, and so I said, okay, I'm listening. You want me there, I will go. Here I am. And so we went out there. This is a picture from our trip there. And I could see immediately why it was that God had brought me there, because the entire week he was speaking to me through, the interactions that I had with people, through the people that I met, through the sessions. About the second day, we learned to just bring a box of tissues to the sessions. And every speaker but also just speaking through the creation. And so in the mornings, they would have, every morning at 6:30, a prayer walk around the lake, which is close to 3 miles, I think. And so I would get up to have my alone time with God, to go for a run around the lake before those prayer walks. And so as you can see, the trail, it goes all the way around the lake. And in that time, sometimes I would just stop and enjoy. This is one of my morning photos. And as I was sitting there beholding this scene, I took the picture because of the water reflection. And what God began to speak to me was, in this reflection, how clear it was that I could see. So the next picture here, I took the liberty of just blocking off the top of this scene. So even if I didn't see what was above the water, the house, the trees, I could look at that reflection and get a clear picture of what was going on above. You could see the details even when that reflection is clear. And I walked a little bit further up, and here's that Lake Junaluska cross. And when I saw it reflecting on the water and the mountains and the whole scene, what he began to speak to me was that that's what we are. We are made in his image, and we're to be a reflection of him. We don't physically see what is happening in heaven above. We don't physically see Jesus, with our eyes in front of us, but yet when we are doing the things that he did, and when we're reflecting his character and his attributes, others get to see him clearly. They get a clear view of exactly what, the scripture says, may your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And so we get to see a picture of that through, our exemplifying him. And some mornings on my walks, it was foggy, and you couldn't see the reflection as well. And what he, spoke to me through that was the fact that when there's fogginess in our lives because of sin, or we're distracted, or other things in our lives that come between us and God, that you can't see that reflection as well. And when I returned home, I heard this song, Christ Be Magnified, and it so exemplified exactly what he had been speaking to me in that. And one thing, this song came to my attention again recently because I was having a rough few weeks, I guess, and I felt like, my actions, my attitude wasn't really exemplifying him, that, others weren't seeing me in him in me. And I went back to this photo, and what he showed me in it is that at the bottom there, even through all the fog, is still the reflection. The water is still there. It still exists for the purpose for which it was created. We are still made in his image, and we are still who we are, who he created us to be, even when we have those times where we don't feel like we're exemplifying it very much. And so, that's it. So we're going to, would my singers come up, please?
Were creation suddenly articulate with 1,000 tongues to lift one cry, then from north to south and east to west we'd hear Christ be magnified. Were the whole earth echoing his eminence, his name would burst from sea and sky, from rivers to the mountain tops, we'd hear Christ be magnified. Be magnified, let his praise arise. Christ be magnified.